Welcome to the Pop Culture Breakdown with Joleen. Welcome to the Pop Culture Breakdown with Joleen. That's me. Hey guys, welcome to the Pop Culture Breakdown with Joleen. That's me. I break down all things pop culture, videos I find on YouTube, things that amuse me. Recently I ran into a video on YouTube and it was from about 2 years ago. So it's not the most current, but it's definitely worthy of a pop culture breakdown. So there was a city, Shamokin, Pennsylvania, where the bathroom of a Dunkin Donuts was set on fire by a 13-year-old, which sounds scary and sad, but then you watch the news story about it and it just is a plethora of funny times and somewhat joy. Now, no one was hurt in this, so we'll just go ahead and put that out there so we can all have fun with it. But it was a very interesting news story that they reported. Let's check it out.
Yellow tape surrounds the Dunkin Donuts on West Sunbury Street in Shamokin. The popular donut shop is closed until further notice because of extensive fire damage.
There's a lot of people that's definitely gonna miss it, no doubt about it.
A teenager is charged with starting a fire inside the restaurant on Saturday night. Shamokin police officer Ray Psycho says no one was hurt, but the place has extensive damage.
Okay, so first of all, the city's called Shamokin. It couldn't get any better than that. It's Shamokin, and it was set on fire. Second of all, 13-year-old girl. I don't know if you've ever been a 13-year-old girl before, but I've been a 13-year-old girl before, and I've wanted to set things on fire. I advise against that. Any 13-year-old girls out there watching, don't do it. I instead would just listen to my Counting Crows CDs in the backseat of my parents' minivan and just be pissed off, like, why are you taking us to Glacier National Park? I'd rather hang out at Prosperity Rec Center with my friends. Because your brain isn't developed as a 13-year-old. You're not cognizant of the fact that, wow, your parents taking you on a nice vacation is way better than hanging out at a rec center with people you're not going to talk to in 5 years. But at that time, at 13, 14 years old, your hormones are going crazy, you're going crazy, you don't know how to deal with life. I also would kick my Doc Marten sandal up into the ceiling fan and broke it, and my parents still didn't forgive me for that. I also jammed their dishwasher. I closed it really hard because I got mad at a boy I was dating when I was 17, and I never told them until I was an adult when my mom's like, why doesn't this dishwasher close? And I'm like, it's because I had inner rage as a teenager. So sometimes as a kid, you're gonna do really dumb stuff. Fortunately, this 13-year-old girl was not injured in this fire, and again, don't set fires. But if you are gonna set a fire, make sure you do it in Shamokin, because it was Shamokin. Also, the detective's name is Psycho. Does anyone see a problem with that? Like, I need Detective Psycho to solve the case. No, Detective Psycho is going to make the case way worse because he's a psycho. I don't know, if I was getting the detective business, it could work two ways. Either Psycho's going to really scare off the criminals. They're like, don't do crimes in Shamokin because Detective Psycho's coming at you. And criminals would be like, his name is Psycho? Or you could just get rid of the Psycho altogether and change it to something like Detective Solves the Case. That would be my last name if I was a detective. But I'm loving that it's Detective Psycho.
Psycho says the fire was started inside the women's bathroom.
And then she goes on to say, Psycho says the fire started in the women's bathroom. Why don't we just keep the detective before it? Because if you tell me a psycho said the fire was detected in the women's bathroom, I'm gonna go, are you sure? Because a psycho said that.
The toilet paper dispenser was lit on fire, and within about a minute, the entire place was filled up with smoke.
The mother did explain that she's recently been put on new medication, but as far as for what reason, we're unsure right now.
The 13-year-old who admitted to setting the fire is currently at a juvenile detention center. Many people who live in Shamokin are upset that Dunkin Donuts is closed.
Okay, so this news story talks about a 13-year-old girl having some kind of breakdown where she's in the bathroom and she's setting it on fire and setting a toilet paper dispenser on fire, and they just put her on new medication. It's always scary to hear about young children being medicated. I know I was medicated at 17 with Zoloft. So instead of covering, maybe having this be a mental health advocacy story or something. No mental health awareness. We're gonna go right to the people of Shamokin and find out how this burning down of the Dunkin Donuts has affected their coffee consumption, because that's far more important than the mental health of the youth in this community.
Now I have to rely on myself to go to maybe a Turkey Hill or something where I don't like their donuts. I rather the donuts at Dunkin Donuts.
What the hell is a Turkey Hill? And why does a place called Turkey Hill sell donuts? They should sell turkey. That's what it's called. It's called Turkey Hill. Is that an area in Pennsylvania? Maybe it is. Either way, weird advertising. Because if I hear Turkey Hill, even if I know it's a neighborhood, I'm thinking I'm getting a turkey club sandwich. If they're trying to sell me a donut, I'm going to go, oh no, I'm not eating a turkey donut. Nice try, big turkey.
And I'm kind of dealing with it, but I really miss Dunkin' Donuts.
So this lady's kind of dealing with it. Not the fact that a 13-year-old could have been in danger or hurt, or the fact that these employees are out of work. She's kind of dealing with the fact that she has to go to another place where she really doesn't enjoy the donuts. Man, my prayers are with you, ma'am.
I go there every day. I get a chicken bacon croissant, or I get some coffee, Powerade if I'm dehydrated.
Dutch Smith, I'm guessing you're dehydrated a lot. A lot.
I sit there all the time. If I have any legal work that I need to do, I go there. I meet with my attorneys there.
I love that Dutch is just like, yo, you know, I meet with my attorneys there. Like, that's where we drop all the cases that I get. Like, that's where I'm like, hey, I got another simple assault case. I try to rob the liquor store for a bottle of Kharkov because, you know, that's what Dutch do. These names are beautiful. Mr. Dutch just wants to sit there and get a turkey bacon croissant and drink Powerade when he's a little, you know, dehydrated. Which I think, Dutch, if you just stay hydrated, you'd probably have to meet with your attorney a lot less, or maybe you wouldn't even need an attorney. He sits there all the time, you guys, because we know Dutch. Dutch isn't gonna go get a job. Dutch is just fighting another case. Dutch is like, I would get a job, but me and my attorneys, we got another meeting at Dunkin' Donuts. Sometimes I'll stare off and just think about Powerade and how I'm thirsty. It's like, this cottonmouth is getting to me.
I'm gonna miss that place if it don't open up. Yeah, a lot of my friends go in there, get the cold coffee, iced coffee, I guess it's called.
Now, I love Edna. Edna's my favorite part of this whole video because Edna's the first non-selfish person they've interviewed throughout this whole video. Edna's actually thinking of her friends. She's gonna miss it because of her friends, because her friends go in there and they get the cold coffee, which, yeah, Edna, I'm the same way as you. You can tell Edna's like, I just drink regular coffee, because when I go into a Starbucks, which I don't do a lot because I don't love their coffee, but when I do, they're like, what size? And I just want to say small, medium, or large, or they got grande, mande, and sande, and I always feel stupid, and I'm like, I don't know the medium one, and then they look at me like I'm stupid. They're like, you mean grande, which probably isn't even still a medium. I'm probably saying that wrong. So I get Edna when she's just like, the cold coffee, because that's what it is, cold coffee. Why do we have to say iced coffee? Yeah, you put iced in it, but guess what the ice does? It makes it cold. Edna's making sense. Edna 2020.
People miss their local hangout and hope Dunkin' Donuts reopens soon here in Shamokin.
Cheap, classy place to meet up. It's a location where you can meet up with your friends. It's the only thing this town has.
It's the only place to meet up in the town. Now, I get that. I live in Los Angeles now, but there was a time I lived in a small town and went to college in River Falls, Wisconsin. And this was the early 2000s, late 90s. It was before it was really built up or stuff. There was a lot of horses and farmland, and there was like some bars, and there was a bar called Emma's, and you could bring your dog, and they had warm nuts. And that sold me. That's pretty much all you can do. So if they would have closed down Emma's, where I couldn't pet dogs, get blackout drunk, and eat warm nuts, I don't know what I would have done with myself. I would have been like Dustin. I would have been catching a case.
Officials don't know when Dunkin' Donuts in Shamokin will reopen because the damage is so extensive. As for the teen who confessed to setting the fire, officers were able to confirm her identity through surveillance video shown on Newswatch 16. Nikki Cries, Newswatch 16.
Two things. I hope Shamokin, Pennsylvania got their Dunkin' Donuts back. I also hope they got a Perkins or somewhere else that they can hang out in case someone decides to burn that Dunkin' Donuts down again because it's Shamokin. Also, I hope the news anchor woman Nikki Christ was able to get a bigger market job. I totally get it. I went to college for journalism in a small town, was gonna have to start in a small market and cover things I didn't want to cover. However, if I would have known I would get to cover a Dunkin' Donuts fire with that just beautiful, colorful array of personalities, I would have loved it. But Nikki, I hope you're like working for, you know, a bigger market where they pay you more now. And just so you guys know, the title of this YouTube video is Residents Devastated. They used the word devastated after Dunkin' Donuts closed by fire. There are so many things I love about this story, so I just wanted to share it with you guys and give it a quick breakdown. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Let me know what you think in the comments. Shout out to Edna. If anybody knows her, tell her she's my hero. Make sure you hit that subscribe and make sure you give a thumbs up. It's also always appreciated. And if you want a breakdown with Joleen mug, the link is in the description of this video. I'll be back very soon to break down another pop culture issue or video from YouTube. I'll see you guys later. Thanks for watching. Bye.